B-Jump Sunset World.
Sushi,
Sumo, Tokushima.
この番組は地域密着型のボランティア活動を徳島で行っている国際ワークキャンプのメンバーがお届けする30分です。
This 30 minutes broadcast is hosted by volunteer members who come from abroad to help the community of Tokushima.
Hello, good evening, everyone. We are your hosts for this evening. I'm Kristen from America.
Hola, gente bonita. I'm Jimena from Costa Rica.
This radio program, Sushi, Sumo, Tokushima, is live on FM Bizan. This 30 minutes broadcast is hosted by volunteer members who come from abroad to help the community of Tokushima. Popular images of Japan, sushi and sumo, yes, but we would like people around the world to know not only these images, but more things about Japan. They share the news from Japan and information about Tokushima, a place that welcomes foreigners from all over the world. No one knows what language will be spoken or what kind of topics we'll bring up next, so don't miss it.
Sushi,
Sumo, Tokushima.
So welcome, Jimena.
Hi.
And you're from Costa Rica, so that's very different from Japan, isn't it?
Yeah, Costa Rica, it's a small country in Central America that's a Latin American country, and it's completely tropical. So here for me, it's a little bit cold.
Oh, even now?
Now it's getting warmer, but the first days I came was a little bit cold for me. Yeah. It's a really small country. We are just 5 million people, so
Wow.
Many people here in Tokushima or in other parts of Japan had told me that Tokushima is a small city, but I'm just gonna let you know, guys, that this is bigger than the biggest city of my country. So it's quite different for me.
I also think that Tokushima is a relatively small city, so it's surprising to me every time you say that.
Yeah, in my whole country there are not subways, for example. So you can imagine that for me, being in a city that has a lot of things and it has really big buildings and it has a lot of different ways to get to different places, it's quite a big city, to be honest.
So why are you here?
I came to Tokushima to learn Japanese because since I'm a high schooler, I am practicing Aikido.
Aikido?
Yes, the martial art.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's really fun, and it's a really, I will recommend it for everybody. You don't need to be particularly strong, or you don't need to, there are no competitions, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there is no competitions. They don't have it. So it is just for you to learn how to self-defense and to have more, a little bit more peace in your life. Yeah, it's really a nice martial art. Recently, last year, I had to change my school, and I went to a new school, and they have a really older sensei, Japanese sensei. He's a Shihan, and he lives in Nara.
Oh,
yeah,
that's pretty close to here.
Yeah, it's pretty close to here. And once every year, he goes to Panama. He doesn't even go to Costa Rica because it's too small. He goes to Panama, so everybody goes to Panama. So we have this special class with him. But they are thinking about in 2020 to make this class, that is a 3 days class, make it in Costa Rica. But we don't have a translator for him, and he only speaks Japanese.
Okay.
So in the class, we decide that I will be the one that will be learning Japanese to translate him.
Wow.
Everything.
And you only have 2 years.
Yeah, I only have 2 years. So I was looking for the best way to learn Japanese. And since my country is so small and it's so far away from Asia in general,
Right.
there is just one school of Japanese, and it's really expensive. And it's not the whole year. It's just when they have enough people, they open the classes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
That's
quite
kind of inconvenient then.
Yeah, it's quite inconvenient. So I was looking for ways to learn Japanese. I was learning internet and so on. And at one point I was talking with a friend and he wanted to travel somewhere. And we were talking about the subject and we decided to come here, to come to Japan. So he will travel around and I will learn as much Japanese as I can till 2020. So that's why I'm gonna be here helping you for 3 months in Tokushima. Yes.
And you chose Tokushima because it was a good place to learn?
Yeah, I first I was looking for places, and Tokushima has a lot of facilities for foreign people to learn Japanese, and also because I from countryside of a really undeveloped country, so I really like nature and I really like forest and trees and flowers and anything that's nature related. And here I'm helping the community with the flower road, and I really enjoy it. Every day I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Yeah, it's really fun, and I see how people get happy when they see the flowers, and people pass by and say arigato. They say thank you, and they say a lot of things for us since we're helping them. So,
and do you like Tokushima so far?
I love it. I mean, I cannot find words to describe it, because when I came to Tokyo, and it was so big, and there were so many things happening. And from somebody like me that comes from a really small place, I had to take the subway, and it was so many people, but I couldn't believe it. So I even got dizzy, and I have to sit a moment, because it was
stand back
and stand back and breathe and say okay, this is gonna be okay, because it was so big, and I was like, I just hope not the rest of my trip is like this, or I will just have to deal with it and just get used to it. Then it happened to me again in the street in Tokyo. To get to the bus to come to Tokushima. When I came here, I said, wow, this is really big, but there's not as much people. There are not so many things happening. So for me, it's a safer place, and I love it. There's a lot of people. Even if they don't know you, they will make a little bow. They will say hi. And I know there's a lot of people here, but even though they are friendly with each other, they try to be always polite. The city is so clean. It's really clean. And some days ago, we went to Bizan mountain.
Oh, yes.
And it was really nice.
It's
really
beautiful up there.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. So far, it's best city ever, at least for me.
I really like it too. And Bizan was definitely a great experience, because... Yeah, and you were saying that it reminded you a little of Costa Rica, actually.
Yeah, actually, when we were climbing, there was a part that's completely forest, and of course, it's not the same forest as the tropical forest will be, but like the sense of nature and the sense of quietness and the sense of being surrounded by trees and earth was the same. And I actually told you that it felt a little bit bizarre because it was like being in the same place, but not being in the same place. So it was really nice. And the culture here, it's really different because Costa Rica is a Catholic country. Here, there's one church, Christian. I don't even know if it's Catholic or not. But you have a lot of temples, and the graveyards are like in all places around the city. And to me, that's really new because I always have like this Catholic version of a city, like the cities are built around the church, and so it changes a lot. And sometimes you are walking and you found a new temple, and there's a lot of temples here and there, and they are really nice, and they are dedicated to different things. That's new for me. Like some of them, they are for studying, others are for
like on B-zan, there was that spot where you could pray for to have a lover.
yeah. Like ones are for love, others are for health, others are for economy. So to me, that's really interesting.
It is,
definitely.
yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, definitely.
And my country is mostly Christian, so that was also new for me. But Catholic is even more like, I don't know.
Strict.
Yeah, strict and like deeply rooted in tradition as well. Like sort of
definitely.
like how Japan's.
Yeah, like I can understand the feeling of tradition that you have, because in Catholic places, every holiday has a specific reason, and it's usually a religious reason. So before we go to party, we have to go attend mass and hear why are we having this special day and so on. And I can understand that from the Japanese people, that they have special places for special things. It's the same, but with a different nature, I will say.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. And Tokushima is just lovely. Everybody shows you things. If you're lost, people will come by and say, "Do you need help? Are you lost?"
That's true.
Yeah, that's something that I feel. It's a really nice city. Definitely.
Yeah. And I love how, like, to me, it's a small town. So.
Yeah. Yeah. For
and
me,
I personally really love that.
Yeah, I love how, for me, it's a big town. Yeah, that's
Kind
a
of
nice
like
thing.
both of us experiencing something new.
Yeah, it's really nice.
On the opposite, like
exactly
spectrum.
in the opposite. But yeah, I love Tokushima, definitely.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
And now we would like to play a song, and after that we'll talk about some animation, because that's what your work, right?
Sushi, Sumo, Tokushima.
Welcome back. So, as I kind of mentioned before, your job is in animation, right?
Yeah, I just got graduated in digital animation, and I have been working for over 1 year in the animation industry back in my country.
What do you mostly do?
Okay, there's a lot of things to be done, but my field is 2D animation, 2D animation for TV programs mainly. And that's what we got. We got a small studio back in Costa Rica, and we do outsourcing for USA and Canada. Sometimes Ireland also.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Actually, that's the biggest animation producer in Europe, besides France.
Oh.
The second.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen an Irish animation.
It looks like American, like an.
Just the same?
Yeah, it's the same. They usually hire voice actors from the United States.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't have like that landmark.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that's specifically like, this is an Irish animated like film TV program.
Exactly. You may see a lot of them in Disney Channel, but you will never know.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
They try to mix with the whole thing. There's also a 2D animation, really nice 2D animation from Brazil, and you can watch the whole episode, and you will even imagine it was from South America.
Oh.
Yeah, we kind of are looking for the look and feel, and even the comedy of America and Canada, from the United States and Canada, because that's our target audience is. Yeah. So about animation, I usually, or my main field is 2D animation, but I also study 3D animation, or CGI, how so many people call it. But definitely I will prefer to keep the road of 2D animation, mostly entertainment animation. Yeah,
that seems like a fun field to be in.
Yeah, it's really nice. The United States has a really nice workflow, and they produce a lot of animation. But the biggest 2D animation producer for TV programs is actually Canada.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because the States are more focused in movies. Yeah, but they still make a lot of animation, even they are not the number one. That's speaking about America or Western countries.
Well, is that different from animation here in Japan?
That's completely different. It's really interesting, and it's a topic I love because the bigger exposure of animation in Asia is Japan, and I think it's a cultural phenomena that animation here is so big. It's amazingly big. I do believe that the production per year of animation in Canada and the United States is still smaller than the production made in Japan, because here the amount of studios and the amount of money invested in it, it's amazing. And that allowed the media to explore new different styles and themes, genders, and the audience is also bigger, because I think since you're from the States, you will feel that what comes to your mind when people talk about animation, it's like Disney animation and animation for kids. And of course, that's an amazing animation, and it's a really big field, and I completely respect it. I actually want to work for that field. But here in Japan, animation, it's not necessarily target to kids. So the animation here about culturally talking, it's can be for adults, can be for young people, can be for high schoolers, can be for kids, and can be even for babies.
Oh.
Yeah, like educational and so on.
Yeah, okay.
And they also have like animation that is interesting, but it also teaches you things. There's actually there's a lot of animes that are target, for example, to sports, and they teach you step by step how to play one a specific sport. There's animation for cooking, like anime is completely dedicated to teach you how to cook. And they have a story, they have main characters, they have conflicts, they solve the conflicts, but in the background they teach you something. And I think that's a really powerful tool Japan has developed through animation. And in the States, the educational animation is completely educational.
Yeah, just for children too.
Yeah.
Like young children.
Exactly. Like Discovery Kids and so on. And
I used to watch an animated show that was like about kids that oh gosh, I can't really remember, but they would like do math problems.
Yeah, and they usually like talk to the viewer. Like they say, like, yeah, that doesn't happen in Japanese animation.
That's true. You're right. I haven't seen
because there's a story and there's like a theater that they are developing. In the American educational programs, they break. We call it the fourth wall. They break it and they talk to the audience because they don't pretend to make up a story. They just want the person to learn a specific thing.
Yeah.
And somehow, I don't know how or when, Japan decided that they could mix both of the things. And you can learn something in a specific theme.
While that also was being entertained.
Yeah, while still being entertaining, and there's still a story going on.
Right.
Yeah. But another thing about American and Western animation is that when it's entertaining animation, it's target mostly to high school and college student tops, like young adults, maybe. But like they don't expect that a 40 years old, I don't know, banker will watch an animator,
Yeah.
an animation.
That's true.
That's a cultural thing. Here, I think nobody will mind if a person like this will watch an anime, because there are so many different animes. There are historical animes. There are really, really dark animes. There are even for there are even terror. There is even terror genre. So that represents a big difference in the target audience you can reach.
A big difference culturally between the animations. So technically speaking, how are they different?
Oh, well, that's a really interesting question, actually. Technically, there's a lot of things happening that change how the feel and look of an animation is. Most of Western people will know about the classic animation of Disney. Disney animation was hand-drawn, and they, till a certain point, will hire an actress to act everything, and they will watch her, and they will analyze the movements, and they will look for the arcs. The arcs in animation are really important in the Western world, and they use a lot of different drawings to get a smooth movement. That's in the classical Disney animation,
Which I think are some of the most beautiful.
Of course, that's one of the most beautiful. And they invented like a lot of things. The concept of a storyboard was invented by Disney.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they invented it because they needed to like plan the animation beforehand. And then Japan and other countries took those ideas, but they changed them dramatically. The animation in Japan is not about the arcs, and it's not about smooth movements. It's more about the pose. The pose is really, really important. The pose of the character is really important. And they have a lot of snappy movements because they want to give the feeling of neither speed or strong, especially with the fights. The fight scenes, they are really different. And that was at the beginning of animation. But right now, animation in America is more by computer, and here in Japan it's still hand-drawn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That must take so much time, though.
Yeah, and the quality changes a lot. So that will be the basic of the difference about it.
Well, I would love to hear more about this, but it seems we've almost reached the end of the program.
Aww.
And we're waiting for messages from you, the audience, with feedback or requests.
Sushi, Sumo, Tokushima!
This radio program, Sushi, Sumo, Tokushima, is being recorded live here on B-FM FM in Tokushima. So how do you feel about the program today, Hinina?
It was awesome. I love to talk about the things I love with you guys, and I hope we can see you again.
Yeah, and it's so interesting hearing about all the things I didn't know about animation, which is such a huge part of our lives, actually, if you think about it. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
This program is hosted by volunteer members working with nonprofit organization Bizan Daigaku. We are open to and accepting any forms of support or contributions you have to offer within the local community of Tokushima. Please do not hesitate to contact us if you wish to get involved by emailing radio@bizandaigaku.net. We are accepting requests and messages via email. Please send emails to request@bfm.jp. That's request@bfm.jp, including the title of the show, Sushi, Sumo, Tokushima, in your messages. You can listen to this channel, FM Bizan, on the internet with your PC and smartphones. If you are accessing with your PC, go to the website www.bfm.jp, and you will find a pink banner written SIMUL Radio on the left side of the page. If you are accessing with your smartphone or tablet, download the application Listen Radio, then select BFM 791 FM Bizan with the area Chugoku Shikoku. If you are listening to this radio in the area where it has a weak radio wave, don't worry, you can listen to programs with clear sound through this internet radio system. No one knows what language will be spoken or what kind of topics they'll bring up next Thursday, so don't miss it. See you next Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Bye-bye!